So one of the, shall we say, tactics, well, it's sort of brand new, but it's been around for a while, really, is we have to not appear racist, but say things in such a way that they are, if you get what I mean. And a perfect example is a couple of years ago, there was a documentary following Tommy Robinson around. Now, this was when he was trying to set up the UK branch of PIGDA, which was the, I think it was something like the Patriotic Inhabitants something party. But yeah, basically far-right party, and the camera covers one of these meetings, and it is, put it this way, the first thing they ask is, okay, how can we make this message seem less racist? I kid you not, that is exactly what they said. Now, I'm going to have to try and hunt down that documentary, but it was from a couple of years ago now. I can't remember the life of me what it was for. I can't remember if it was specifically about Tommy Robinson or not. I can't remember. But the thing is, if you were in that room, or if I was in that room, my reaction would be, okay guys, let's stop a minute and think. You're trying to make something sound less racist. How about you ask the question of, how about we put out a message that isn't racist? But that is the bread and butter. And one of the things that I've really been seeing and noticing about the Count Dankula situation is a lot of these comments have suddenly changed from being, oh, suddenly you won't be able to tell the truth about Islam, or suddenly you won't be able to tell the truth about those, those about the Muslims in the UK, and I'm like, okay, this is getting quite strange, because this is basically voiding onto hate speech. Because one of the things, and one of the statistics that these guys use was that the Muslim population of the UK is around about 5%, and they carry out about Asians. I can't remember what it is. The Muslim population of the UK is 5%, and 80% of all. Remember that all paedophilia cases are carried out by Asians. Now, first of all, that statistic, yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a large one, and I think something should be done. The problem is, it has nothing to do with the fact that these people are religious. The fact is that what these people have done is what pretty much every criminal has ever done since the beginning of time, is you do not target people in your own community, because then you are likely to get away with it for longer, and because these people won't recognise you. A burglar, professional burglars never steal in their own town. They always go out of town somewhere else to commit their crimes. This is exactly what a lot of these paedophilia cases have come down to. And even in the court cases, a lot of these people have said, yeah, it had nothing to do with my religion. The other thing is when you get onto the Asian statistic. They are assuming, because the Office of National Statistics doesn't keep this information, it is not a statistic they keep, they do not keep breakdowns based on religion. So that 80%, that 80% number, you can't break down and say that they're all Muslims, because that information is not kept. It's not accurate. But what this, information does. And there's all sorts of stuff you can go into it and break down and drill down into these things and show that, yeah, this statistic is nonsense. But the problem is this statistic is designed to do one thing. It is designed to make you think that that Muslim guy might be a pedophile. That is the core and aim of those statistics. Be they right or be they wrong, it doesn't matter. Their aim is to spread fear and make you, fear that the Muslim guy next door might be after your children. That is what that statistic is designed to try and do. And if they do that, you then get hate crimes against Muslims. I've said multiple times, look what has happened in the aftermath of the whole Rotherham thing. You had a guy who was a taxi driver, who had nothing to do with any of these, of the case in Rotherham. He was not related to any one of the, the perpetrators. He just happened to be a Muslim taxi driver in Rotherham, and he was beaten to a point where he had to be taken to intensive care, and the guys who did it basically did it because they, everyone knew that it was the Muslim taxi drivers who were responsible for that, for all those, cases. But he had nothing to do with it. And that was an innocent, guy who was caught up because those idiots, those thugs, bought in to that stupid, racist propaganda. But that is what the alt-right in this country are trying to do. Now, to show how big a hypocrites these people are, literally last month, another big historic, paedophile case, came up. This time to do with the Church of England. In fact, there were more people involved in this case than in the one in Rotherham and the other Muslim one in Telford. More were involved. But has Tommy Robinson tweeted out anything to say that we need to support the victims of these attacks? No. Now, his Twitter's gone now, but he has done nothing. Nor have his, compatriots done anything to, show their support for those victims. He hasn't gone after the Church of England for protecting these paedophiles. He hasn't blamed the religion that the vicars were part of. And, the list goes on and on. Because their aim is to make you scared of someone who is different. And, eventually what their aim is to whip up enough, anger and support that they'll pass some sort of anti-Muslim laws. Now, Tommy Robinson isn't stupid enough to come out and say that. However, his former partner in Pigna, Anne-Marie Walters, is. And I said several times about the numerous number of anti-Muslim laws she wants to introduce. But there you go. And that's essentially their ultimate aim. To essentially target a, what is essentially a minority in this country for political gain. That's their thing. And in Tommy Robinson's case, he makes a lot of money out of it, which is really despicable. But there you go. That is essentially the modern alt-right in a nutshell.